Hello and welcome to your Vedic Lunar Scope for today, the 6th of September 2015. The moon today will be making its way through the final degrees of the sign of Gemini as it transits its way through the Nakshatra of Ardra. Sometimes we get into these spaces where we just feel so empty inside of ourselves, and there's a hunger that's building inside of us, a very deep desire. And if there's anything that potentially can soothe that hunger or alleviate the desire, well, obviously we're willing to give it a try. But then sometimes that particular approach doesn't always work out, which usually means that we try harder, even if that isn't the right thing to do. And finally, we become so entranced in trying to find fulfillment that common sense soon gives way to chaos and calamity. And then we're in a really deep doo-doo situation, for lack of a better way to put it. What do you need to do now? Well, you now need to calm your nerves and soothe that which burns inside of you. But it's not going to be soothed in the manner that you think it is going to be. You need to try a different approach. You need to look beyond what's obvious to you. And you need to quieten the noise that you're dealing with in your life and listen to what the silence has to tell you. Now, Ardra is a comma-driven nakshatra, and it's basically a very passionate nakshatra. It's ruled over by Rahu. And all the nakshatras that are ruled over by Rahu, which is the north node, tend to have an intensity about them. And that intensity usually leads to pulling the individual in a certain direction, pulling them along on a journey that ultimately isn't going to lead to the destination that they might think it's going to lead to initially. Ardra is also connected with Rudra, which is a form of Shiva. And it's actually symbolized by Rudra's tears. So what tends to happen through this nakshatra is we passionately get pulled towards a particular thing in a manner that creates a lot of enthusiasm or mental energy inside of ourselves. It makes us very mentally active and very passionate about something to the extent that we're not seeing clearly. And we develop one pointed focus towards one specific goal. And if that one specific goal doesn't bring the result that we're looking for, well, ultimately that leads to a collapse. And in the rubble of that collapse usually lies an answer after we go through a purification process of dealing with the intensity of what we've recently been through. Sometimes this happens in very minor manners. Sometimes it happens in very major manners. What I'm trying to do today is to keep you from having it happen in a very major manner, okay? The lunar tithi today is Krishna Navami. It's the 9th day of the dark half of the moon. And this particular energy does have the capacity to develop some very intense emotions for you and to make you feel pulled or almost hypnotized by something, which ultimately is not to your advantage. And you need to be aware of that. So when you begin to feel that energy, when you begin to feel that pull, almost as if it's like a magnet is pulling you in a direction that you think is going to be the right solution to a situation, well, you need to be cautious about that particular energy or what it is that's coming up for you. The solar lunar yoga today is Vyatipata. Vyatipata is a calamity energy. It's also connected with Rahu. Okay, and it tends to create a lot of chaos, a lot of things seeming that they're a certain way when they're really not that way at all. So there's the capacity for energy to be very intense. That intensity will ultimately lead you to a solution. So it's going to lead in the right direction one way or another. But if you approach it with awareness, you don't have to go through all the difficulty and all the buildup and collapse and all the other things that you might not want to have to encounter. So the advice for today is to pay attention. Where things seem, a little bit hectic or chaotic, well, step back from the situation a little bit. Give yourself the space to be able to see things clearly. And if you could use a little bit of help with that process, I should mention that I do offer several different tiers of astrological service, and I've recently changed my astrological services page. And if you'd like to take a look at that and see what's on offer there, you can do so through the link that's in the bottom left-hand corner of this video. Also to mention, I'm teaching an intermediate level predictive course on techniques that will teach you how to narrow down a predictive window to within a couple of days and potentially predict something to within a day or two using these particular techniques. This course starts on the 10th of October, and there are limited positions on the course. And if you're interested, you can register or just get more information on the course by visiting the link that's in the bottom right-hand corner of this video. That's going to do it for your Vedic Lunar Scope for today, the 6th of September, 2015. Until next time, please take the very best care of yourself. Bye now.